I meet a lot of people who are very much into tantra, and tantra is something because it has got to do with sex. It has really caught on, and apparently people are willing to pay $5,000 for weekends to learn tantra, and it's it's largely made up. But because it is, it's just plain old sex, but you call it tantra, and then it becomes a sort of like exotic and worth paying for. That's what happens with most of the tantra classes that I've seen. And tantra seems to be breathing in a rhythm, which is part of the yoga, like aligning your pranayama. And I've even seen uh, different types of sex in different ways. There's too many ways of it. So how does meditation, kundalini, tantra, and mantra, and dhyana, which is basically deep focus, and samadhi, which is going into a trance-like posture when one is in communion with God, how do they align up? Yoga, at its very core, is communion with God, but not with a God somewhere, the God who is nowhere and everywhere. Think of us, all of us, as fishes in a transparency. And some of us are going to be going around saying, there's no sea, because I don't see any sea. And because we are fish, we feel the water so intimately. We cannot live without that water as fish. We are so intimately connected with that water that we identify so much with the water that we don't see it. And we might even refute it. We might not even agree. Where is the sea? I don't see any sea around me. And if I'm out of the sea, even for a few seconds, because I die when I'm out of the sea, of course, meaning the grace of God. When, if ever there was a possibility that I would be out of that sea, I just won't be there. I won't exist without the grace of God. So the fishes can talk to each other, and some will say, I don't believe in a sea. I don't even believe in water. This is my environment. I'm going to go all scientific, and it seems to be this environment that I have is consists of um, H2O, and I know hydrogen, and I know oxygen, but I don't know the sea. And the fish has full right. It's called scientific, and it will even discuss electrons and this, but it can never really understand that how is hydrogen, which is a gas, and oxygen, which is a gas, can come together to create water which has none of the qualities of hydrogen or oxygen. This is where the magic happens, but we think this is scientific. Yeah, scientific, we can find out what the constituents are. How is it that hydrogen and oxygen gases become something which is absolutely not having any characteristics of the gases? And the fish living in that will always say, I know that it is H2O, so I understand it, even though no one understands it. No one. There is a chapter called viscosity, how the electrons and the molecules change the qualities, but why and how? No one really has any idea. We can count things, but not the magic of creation. Now, this whole creation in which we are conducting or having an immersive experience, we are immersed in a sea in which There are three words that I'm going to be using for us to be able to understand, this group of spiritual seekers to be able to understand. I'm going to be taking out the word sea and fish. I'm taking out the word sea and fish. I'm going to be putting as soul and God. Even though when I use the word God, you will find 90% of the people start looking at you in a funny way. The three words that I'm going to be using with God, of course, you can also use I love you. And the strange thing is, if you say I love you, God, it will get you to the same place as hours of meditation. Just as say, I love you, God. I love you, Jesus. I love you, Krishna. I love you, Allah. I love you, whatever. That I love you has got the power to take you beyond meditation because it is the end point. So now you can take an escalator and just reach the top of the stairs, or you can take all the flights and walk and enjoy the path. So it's all good. But the three words that I've meant were that each one of us, like the fish in the sea, is a soul in God, with God. So the totality of our experience and existence is in something, for lack of a better word. God is something that we have thought of, because even a God is going to be having a God. So the first primal creative or creation from which everything originated. And in this huge, in God, through God, and with God, our minds are allowed to go into any which direction. We can believe or we can disbelieve. The choice is given to us. We can be like the fish that doesn't see the sea. We can be like, we are still going to be like the sea, which the fish which does not see or know or even maybe feel them, because we are in. So the experience is so all totally immersive that we cannot focus on it. Our power of cognition, knowing, and processing the sea, the world around us, are all directed to process information from outside. We are not conditioned, usually, to look or analyze the power that analyzes everything. Not conditioned. Because our lives are magic. 99% of the world is not there. Torah, Indian, Buddhist, all agree on that. Islamic also says it in a different way, that only Allah is great. So everything else is not great, means everything else is not important. Everything else is illusory. Only Allah, only God is the substratum of everything which is illusory, which means changing. It doesn't mean that it's not there. It's there, but it's changing so fast that we shouldn't focus too much on it. Now, everything, we are living in a magical way, and the double magical thing is that we are able to perceive the magic. And the processing power inside us that sees the magic inside us and sometimes take it to be the reality, sometimes take it to be the illusory, that analyzing power, the eye beyond the eye, the ear beyond the ear. Power to see gives us things that we see and we analyze and we think whatever we want. And that itself is magical. But beyond this magic of being able to absorb, understand, see, perceive, that processing power has got a processor behind it which cannot be analyzed because the lamp cannot shine light in on itself because the light that it sends out goes out. So the torch is throwing light on other things, but who can throw light on the same light if it could be curved back and brought back to the torch so that one could analyze the torch? That is the power of an intent of meditation. Because when, supposing I have a torch, it's spreading out light everywhere that I direct. Now this light travels straight, but at that point of infinity, the light becomes a curve. It goes back and sees now, oh, this is the power. This is the battery from which the light is generated and spreading and seeing everything. So that need to curve the light so that it goes back to the source of the light itself. The source. Focusing on the source, not on the power of perception, but beyond the power of perception, the hidden power, latent. Why latent? It's potent in everywhere, but the knowledge of this power is latent, sleeping. Now, this knowledge of this omnipotent, God-like creative power, which everything and everyone, including the stones, are activated. Why do you think that Hindus, they would see God in stones? So when the British came, they were very, oh, these are the people who pray to gods in stones, even though Jesus is also everywhere. So cultures are the same, but one has a need to put down the other culture for whatever reason. Insecurity. And Hindus have millions of gods. Hindus have millions of gods. However, the hidden teaching is that everything is God. Every form and even the stones are activated, are created, have the presence. Just because a stone doesn't move in a way that you can discern, and you have decided this is inanimate, so it has no magic. Wrong. Stone molecules are moving at the same speed as the molecules in the body. The same. And the earth is a huge rock. But it has been shown, and you can check out all those theories of Gaia and all that. Earth exhibits the behavior of a living presence. It grows, it moves. The trees are a part of earth. Can you imagine trees without the earth? Flying trees or something? Earth is an extension of trees which definitely are alive. Earth is nothing but all the rocks and everything that you thought was inanimate. Thought like that, and you have the right to think like that. Everything is imbued, has godliness embedded in it. Everything is like a painting by a genius. And the genius has not only put its name over out there that this is a Picasso, etc. But after creating, the genius painter has become or activated or become a part of the painting itself. While you are in the painting, while we are all in the painting, we can see each other only as two-dimensionally. We can see only limited part. When we step out, then we can see the huge, magnificent structure that is. We can see the lives of everyone, but we have to be removed. In other words, we have to go through a metamorphosis. We are so afraid of it. Without that, we are all going to be living on this planet. Death, when it comes, when we have a feeling that I did everything that I could for others on this planet while I had this immersive experience, death will be less troublesome. I am not going to say no trouble, less troublesome. And definitely the amount of fear of death will be much less, not zeroed out. There are things which can never be zeroed out. So, meditation is the art of the processing of all the events in your life. That processor, that power to process everything, throwing that power of analysis, of processing everything onto itself. Because there is the meeting ground between us and the Creator. While our senses are all external facing, so the people are very focused on making our external worldly facing all our processing powers. So we are very, what I should eat, what should I drink, I know of people who are very careful about everything that they put in their body. Everything. And then they have fears of God, and they have fear like everything. They have fear of this and that relationship and this and that. They have so many fears that they are always taking it. And a lot of us these days get tempted with different things, and everything from, I'm addicted to Netflix. I think I watch intelligent shows, but it's all an illusory game. Try to do mantra parallelly to have the moral right to be able to talk with you guys. But everyone has got some sort of addiction. Seems that life is tough nowadays, even though we are very comfortable now. It did not come for this comfort. Meditation is never meant to be an easy thing. There are so many things on this planet which are not only addictive, but engage our processing power so that we are forever engaged in what am I eating, what am I feeling. A lot of times people are all, I felt good, I felt bad. That doesn't really carry any weight with me. People, when they meet me, sometimes they'll feel good, sometimes they'll feel bad. Nothing to do with me. Because when we interact with one another, I try to interact as an instrument of the universe, so that when one instrument of the universe interacts with the potential another instrument of the universe, is always going to be some cleanup, and in that cleanup within 72 hours things will go up and down, but finally the recognition of godliness by myself to you and by you to me will reinforce this mystic knowledge that the one that sees everything and everyone, that presence in me, in everyone, that is the God that we. When we see only through our senses, we see the other person only as a person. We don't see godliness in the other. We see, oh, this person is my enemy, this person is my friend, this person I love, this person. Even though most of the people think that, oh, falling in love and then having an orgasm is the peak of civilization for most of us in a hidden way, whether we recognize it or not. No picture of Leonardo da Vinci will give you the same amount of happiness, physical happiness or orgasm as, let's say, with someone who you think look good. But in a moment of orgasm, where is that vibration coming from? Do you think it is the other person, maybe a catalyst? And sex, when you see putting yourself as if you see the human being, you don't see God in the other person. Tantra is the hidden art of communion, taking the orgasm, or rather, taking the orgasm to a level of a higher self, or rather, during this point of orgasms, we notice you don't have a personality, so you are the closest to God. The rich and the poor are the same. But Tantra, how do you take yourself to a higher status? Offering that joy which is from deep inside you, from God. Ultimately, there are different types. You can have the same breathing. You can conjoin your chakras, whichever way. The lower, the less you see God in the other person, the lower your communication channels are. So if you just have sex, you just have sex. But if your hearts are connected, then that's sex with respect. That's love. And if you are able to take that orgasmic sexual power to the level of your head, then that is sex, love. When you can say to God in all its forms, I love you. And what is that? God, I said, is in, through, and with in the universe. But there is another aspect of universe that we forget. Our life is the universe. When you can say to the Creator, I love my life. I love the fact that I have been rejected. I love the fact that I have had such a tough life. I love the fact that I'm alone. I love the fact that I have money or I have less money. Whatever is your point of complaining. That point of complaining makes you see less of God, because God is ultimately joy. God is ultimately joy. That source of orgasm, do you think it will not be joy? If there was no joy, would there be a universe? No. But the divine source of joy, the physical, may align but may not be aligned. When you see God in your life and you have total gratitude for all the things that in your head you wrongly thought are bad and non-godly, non-divine, because if God is there, then why am I alone? If God is there, then why I have less money? If God is there, then why I don't have respect? If God is there, then why I don't? Whatever is your personal point of pain, because of which you refuse to see God in your life, or refuse to see God as your. These teachings we are not going to get from a book. They're not captured in a book as far as I know. But when you see God as your life, you have total gratitude for your life. No matter what the quality you thought was, you have participated in this game on this planet. So No matter how you thought your life was tough or easy, no one thinks that their life is easy. You catch hold of any millionaire, billionaire, they will start complaining. It's just because they are comfortable in a Bugatti or a Lamborghini does not mean that they are insecure, does not mean that think that their parents understood. They're just comfortable physically, and that loses its value when you start taking it for granted. So most people, even in North America, I'm much more comfortable than I was in Russia. I'm more North Americans have much more than other places. But do we smile more? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So when we see God as the experience of life, because God is everything in, with, and through God. Our life, the universe is full of God. That we can convince. But this universe is a reflection of the process mystical that we call our lives. And when we see God as our life, then we see the magic, then we appreciate our life. It has to be beyond it. Good or bad is not there. But you can see things. You can hear, feel. All these five senses are working in an overload run nowadays. The fact that we have less or more is not important, is not so important as the fact that more tougher our life is. The more bragging rights we are going to be having it. Oh, I was born over out there and I lived through COVID and it was people would be, and I lived through war and this and that. And I had no respect when I had a human body and everyone would be laughing. So become enlightened. You have to see God in your life. So you see your life to God, creator of life, deep inside the processing power that analyzes everything. Go to the analyzer. So we'll be going deep inside to the analyzer of everything and everyone. Even many lives we have been. This analyzer, this witness has been through many lives, has seen many lives. We'll go to that. Not a tough job. Now, in this universe where everything is and all the hidden mystical knowledge is now coming up because the times are so upset. I met someone, Russians in Ukraine is fighting and different countries are putting different spins on it. When I was visiting a cousin, and the news was actually like a Hindi movie trailer. Zelensky and Putin, the two warriors are fighting, but is when under a lot of sympathy goes towards that, and people in Russia are just watching only one. They don't have so many channels now, so there's only one channel, and there's therefore only one point of view. And sometimes the point of view is the uh, this just means all these interruptions. It just means that we are getting into sensitive area. And I was being told repeatedly by one of the members, some of the Russian people, that Ukraine was an artificial state. There is no land such as Ukraine, and there is no people, and they don't have an artificial identity. While the people in Ukraine are fighting and ready to die for their mother country and are dying. There's a, there are people who are coming and say, no, no, there is no such land. It's artificial. So weird things are happening, and all these weirdness on the planet is giving us the chance to directly go to the mystical power center of all knowledge and creation. So everything in the universe is from God. So think of everything as being, even the stone as being representative of the presence of God. You don't know. You didn't create the stone. Yeah, some volcanic explosion was there. How did it come out? How did any, even a grain of sand came into existence? No one can say that. People can say earth cooled down, this happened, that happened. Where did it all come from? How did it all come from? Where is it that we are going? What is time? What is space? These are things that no scientist has been able to. So science counts and people think, I'm going to be scientific. Yes, but you yourself, your power of being scientific are from God. No, okay. Beyond that, even I don't see these. Like, this is presence of God saying that it doesn't believe in the presence of God. Okay. People are allowed to say whatever is true. But there is no logic for me at least. And neither I hope for you that some of the things we need to be sharing from that pure belief that deep inside us is godliness. Everything is from God, therefore is godliness. Everything is godly, and whatever we want, the universe, everyone thinking about money and sex. Yes, but these things will take us away from our peace and happiness, which we have allocated ourselves. More sex and more money does not equate with harmony. Only when the money is earned honestly, you can never be a billionaire. You just have comfort. But that's the key. You will be happy. Live within whatever you make honestly. Have relationships in which you see in the other person same godliness that you are seeing in yourself. And that relationship will enable you to even have sex as a means of, and that is tantra. Tantra basically means that I see God in you, I see God in ourselves. The source of orgasm is God. So I offer that to you. Mantra is the power to invoke God using our intention. We are going to be using the Sanskrit terms. Kundalini is the latent godliness in everything and everyone, identified and shown as a snake because it springs up. And people have been trying to find various ways and Kriya Yoga and this yoga and that yoga. And all yogas are means different ways. There is Hatha Yoga, which means that you take care of your body. There's Mantra Yoga, in which you say the mantras repeatedly. There is Dhyan Yoga, in which you focus. There is Raj Yoga, in which your actions lead you towards God. And there are even combinations different, and people charging different things for different types of yoga. But at its very root, Kundalini power to open your third eye, through which you see the divinity of not around you, but inside you in your life, in the past life, in this life. Third eye opens to your life, past, present, future, your own life, not other people's life, because that's their privacy. And you see to your life according to you. That will heal you from depression. That will heal you from all the your insecurities and this and that and your judgments, etc. Just saying to your life as is right now, I see the perfection of you. And when you have no judgments at anyone, at no mother, at no father, no sister, at no neighbor, at no boss, at no sibling, then the kundalini, the power to love, the power to love God in everything and everyone, automatically has started to arise in most of you right now. Most of you, it is already right. Because this is Gyan Yoga. Gyan means knowledge that is beyond even the processes of knowledge. To near the ability of how is it that you have this knowledge? What is knowledge? How is it that you are participating? All the magic of this. This is all your knowledge that takes you beyond the body, beyond your mind, beyond your style of thinking. Mind is just thought. Intellect is your way of thinking. To the core of how is it that everything is being recognized? How is it that this experience is happening? How is it that your soul, which you just thought was you, is locked up inside your body? So to unlock that, we are going to be opening the kundalini, the Latin energy, via this knowledge, via the mantra, a call out to godliness. That's what it is. Magical words that will unlock you and enable you to see the truth about yourself, the truth that will set you free from the bondage of your body, hopefully not temporarily, for now. Mind, so the body is represented by the kundalini power at the back. It's a dark lady with a voluptuous body. She is beautiful. And she has a sword for the intellect, the snakes for the kundalini. The skulls are the death of your ego and desire. And the head is your death, the demons, that my body, my mind, my intellect, the blood that is flowing. Yes, fire of knowledge. The trident is the three qualities: good, bad, in between. Also can be start and be also dark, light, and in between. So this is a personification out of the many images of Kundalini that I found on the. This is the perfect one in my opinion, and I want to share it with you so that we can address, instead of the thousands of mystic ways of awakening the Kundalini power, the power to love everything and everyone, seeing God, that is the true Kundalini. People mistake it for some siddhi and etc. But the true siddhi is having the third eye, which sees gratitude with gratitude all your life, so that your heart can serve. That is the function. And this Kundalini power to love everything and everyone, seeing God in everything and seeing God in yourself. This personification of this dark image, will give us, will bless us. We see God in whichever form we want God to be seen. Some people see God as money and they get money. For them, that is, some people see God as whatever and they get that. Maybe this life, maybe that life. Right now, awakening with the blessing of the Kundalini power. And the mantra is going to be very simple. Om, the Swiss knife of all the mantras. Namo, not me, but also the name. Bhagavate is from the word Bo, is God in Russian, so Bhagavate. Kundalini Mata. The power that we want to invoke, we are going to address directly. Just close your eyes now. Focus into the lowest part of your body, spine, not the legs, where the sexual energy is like an animal. I want to have this and that and those and this, etc. And this animal power needs to be channeled up. So just trust, become like a volcano. Instead of using this sexual power and losing it in horizontal actions and desires, we have to take it up towards God. What is horizontal? The earth is horizontal. The earth's plane is horizontal. What is above? The heavens and God. So we have to take our power, because this power of kundalini and our true sense is the one, is the same. Closing eyes, breathing in, pushing the stomach in so that the stomach goes inside, but the energy of the stomach goes to the spine. The energy is not the same as the physical chakra. Just with the image, Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini Mata. Going to be saying it, and you're going to be breathing in every time, sucking in when I say Om Namo, so that the sexual power shoots up like a volcano. It will. Do not worry. It's already doing that. So we did the mantra, we did the hidden knowledge, the Gyan Yoga, the way to God through divine knowledge. This knowledge is not from me, it flows through me. The mantra, intent, which is Raj Yoga. Actions are preceded by intention. Dhyana, your focus on what I'm suggesting. Kriya, and pranayam, the art of breathing in and out and using any body action to take the energy up. So every time that I say Om Namo, you are pushing back your stomach, but you are visualizing that the energy of your stomach and aura, if you want to call it, is actually touching the spine. Not the physical body, but your energy can do whatever it wants. Starting now. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini. Mata means mother. The blessing from the mother. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini Mata. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini Mata. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini Mata. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini. Your ego is dying. Your desires are dying. You're becoming one with the godliness inside, around, and everywhere. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini Mata. 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Mata. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini 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 Mata. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini. Om Namo Bhagavate. 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini. Om Namo Bhagavate Kundalini. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo. And the Kundalini is awakened. You are totally at peace with your life represents what has happened, is happening. You have some trauma in this life from the past life. Ask the mother, the creator mother, so that you become free of your past trauma. Fearlessly you can serve the universe. All past lives, that deaths in them, that losses in them. Forgot to focus that we had lives, which is always a positive way, because that's why everyone wants to hold on to it. We focus on the negative sector. Whatever trauma from the past is accompanying and making you feel smaller and full of fear and judgment. Judgments is a way of thinking to put down others when you have insecurity. Spiritual person can never be insecure. Either though. When you are spiritual, you see God in everything and everywhere. Spiritual is not taking part and seeing energy. Spiritual is being fearless in helping others. Om Namo Shiva. Om, go to the deepest part of yourself, where all the senses are being processed. The sense of smell, the sense of seeing. Go to the deepest part. Go to the pineal gland where all the processing, the infinity of the universe is processed there. Om Namo Shiva. Go deep inside the pineal gland. Om Namo Shiva. Go deep inside your consciousness. Om Namo Shiva. Go to the place where there is no time or space and see the past life trauma that you still carry inside yourself. See that trauma and evil and meet that trauma with a handshake. Love even your traumas. There is God in those traumas. That trauma can be reflecting now in this present life as a sense of loneliness, as a sense of inadequacy. Loneliness and inadequacy or feeling small are present right now in everyone on the planet. 99.99. Become the 00001 group by looking at your trauma, hugging it, seeing godliness in your trauma. It can be anything that was accompanied. I don't have enough. Husband doesn't love me. Not enough money. Not enough relationship. Not enough sex. Not enough achievements. Whatever it is. Being spiritual means that you have nothing and you feel that you are a billionaire. And you bless everything and everything. From a place of abundance in your heart. Om Namah Shiva. Let go of your trauma. Let go of your neediness. I need this more from the universe. Om Namah Shiva. Om. Heal yourself so that there is no neediness. And say to your life, I love you. I love you. I see God, godliness in everything that is happening. I see God and godliness in everything that will be happening. I see God and godliness in all its forms. The war in Ukraine, I see godliness. The problems in my life, I see godliness. I see godliness in death. I see godliness in life. I see godliness in health, godliness in sickness, God in everything. Become spiritually supermen and super. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Enlightenment means that your heart is always smiling. The kidneys are smiling, having released all their fears. Your liver is golden and smiling without any more anger in them from past, present, or future. Your heart is a temple, a church, a synagogue of joy, masjid, shining brightly, filling your universe and all the universes, your love. Your head is free of all doubts and all heavy thoughts. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. You see yourself as a smiling, satisfied with whatever you have in life person, with full gratitude for the experience of your life, with no more traumas that you judge, but all traumas are your friends, so they cannot impact you. A trauma can impact you only when you think that it's a bad. When you accept it with grace, it becomes a friend and loses its power. See your traumas as your friend. Om Namah Shivaya. Become healthy in spirit, and the body may follow suit. If it is not somatic, or if it is somatic, it will become better. If it is age related or some karma related that you have enjoying this punishment, then the trauma will still be, loving the trauma will enable you to bear it better. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Triambakam Yam. See how the mantra flows through yourself, your universe in the body, cleaning everything right now. Om Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Allah. Allah. Om Namo Narayana. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. In heaven as on earth. On this day, give us our daily of temptation. Fortune us, yes, in the name of the divine within the thine afflicts which is just in Nama Shudha be. Om Namah Shivaya. But thank you. Till tomorrow at 6. So every day we are going to be having meditation at 6, and Wednesday is the only day of exception. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Keep on saying I love you to your life, no matter what is happening, and you will be enlightened. You will continue to be enlightened with a shining and smiling heart. Shining and smiling heart are the same.